Hi and welcome. I'm John and this is Unique Wargame Terrain. Guys, welcome back. For everyone that's new, this is a Let's Build video. What are Let's Build videos and what they're about? Well, Let's Build videos, I take a model kit and I'll show you how to put it together. Why would I do this? If there's areas of concern on the sprue, things you need to be careful of when snipping it off and all of that, I'll let you guys know. Like chains, pipes, that sort of thing. Or in terms of last model, some skulls hanging off of him. If there's anything wrong on the sprue, things are numbered wrong from the instructions, I'll give you guys a heads up. If you suffer with dyslexia or just struggle with instructions in general, again, this is a visual aid. Or, for example, you could have an Aeldari army, be wanting to get this model, but if you think, looking at the price and thinking, that's going to be very difficult to put together, I don't want to mess it up because of the price and everything else. Again, this is a visual aid then to help you. Or if you're interested in starting an Aeldari army, you think, oh, I don't know, I want to start with this model, but I don't know how hard it is to put together. It's a visual aid to help you guys out. So for everyone else, that's, my regulars here, I feel love, thank you very much. I'll see you in a second, guys. Right, so today, as you can see, I'm building the avatar of Khaine. So I'm going to pop the sprue out of the box, and then we'll do the usual stuff. Right, so as always, for everyone that's new, we go through the stat line. Now this is the stat line for 9th edition. From what I understand, in 10th edition, there isn't going to be multiple levels to weaken the tank, the creature, whatever it is down. You'll go from normal starting to the bottom setting. Okay. But anyway, the normal setting for 9th edition is 10-inch move, which drops down to 9 and to 8. It's not too bad. It's 2+ to hit in combat, 2+, 3+, and then 4+ to hit from shooting. Yeah. Strength 7 throughout, toughness 8 throughout. It starts with 14 wounds, so it's quite tough. 7 attacks, 6 attacks, 5 attacks, leaves with 10, and he has a 2-up armor save. Now, he's going to have some sort of invulnerable save. He's going to have a heap of other special rules that go with him. But his main primary weapon, I think it's a Wailing Doom, I think it's called. The older version was just a sword. Okay, but now there's a sword version, there's a spear version, there's an axe version. All of them look fantastic. But anyway, it has a ranged attack of 12 inches, assault 1. It's not very good, but it's strength 12 with -4 AP and D6 + 2 damage. So that is, even though it's only one shot, it's still quite dirty. Wow. But in combat, he has 2 different profiles he could use. I'd imagine one's a swinging and one's a stabbing, I'd imagine. Or sweep or blow or something like that, I don't know. But anyway, the first one is ×2 strength. So it'd be strength 14. -5 AP. That is, and it's D6 + 2 damage piece. That's probably going to be the favourite one to use. Wow. It'll be 7 attacks to start with. So that is, in combat, that is absolutely disgusting. 7 dice. 2s to hit throughout, and it's going to probably be 2s to wound, I'd imagine, because being strength 14, -5 AP. So basically, a space marine on his 3-up armor save wouldn't be able to save it. But it's D6 + 2 damage apiece. So potentially you could do 8 damage per attack that gets through, maximum. So 8 × 7 is 56 damage. That could be done potentially if you hit maximum on all the damage rolls. That's just even if you didn't, you're still going to be 21 damage if everything gets through. 7, 14, 21. Yeah, no, yeah, 21. Yeah. The second type of attack you can use, strength is the same as user. So strength 7, so it's all quite strong. -2 AP and 2 damage apiece. Again, with 7 attacks, that could be, pretty much a whole 7 members of a Space Marine squad, or 10-man squad gone. Anyway, enough of that. Now, so for everyone that's new, We go through this at the beginning of every Let's Build video. Tools needed as usual. Mould line scraper. You can use a hobby knife or some sort of surgical blade. If you're using a blade, be careful because it's sharp. And two, if there's anyone in the house, let them know you're using a blade so nobody scares you by accident or anything like that. You end up cutting yourself. Clippers, most useful part for our kit that we have. Now I use this wonderful material. It's called sanding sponge. It comes in two different, this is actually sanding block, but it's the same thing. Sponge in the middle with sandpaper over the side, and there's on the top and the bottom both sides as well. This is sanding sponge. Again, sponge in the middle, sandpaper on top. This one won't fold too much, whereas this one you can fold it up into little bits and get into little nitty grits, bits that you want. This is another type of sanding block, but as you can see, as this one gets used, it gets worn, it starts falling apart, which is not very good. Anyway, first thing that we do before we start looking at instructions, start snipping stuff off or anything like that, we start looking at the sprue and see what we can ascertain what's what to make it easier for ourselves. For example, that's going to be what he stands on. Okay, I'd imagine, yeah. Wow, that is absolutely, I didn't even realise that's what the base look like, what he stands on. That is fantastic. Wow. It's a big Aeldari symbol as well. So, oh, wow, that's just, that is something a bit special there. Right, so we've got body, you can see that. We've got the bottom part of his torso with his legs. But this is his back with some more bits of body, so I'd imagine that goes into that somehow. And then they both connect into that. We've got these different parts, I don't know what they are. There's a foot there, there's a foot there. There's his spear arm. That looks like his hand that goes up in the air. There's hair, there's more hair, there's more hair. Don't really, oh, was that a flame? That looks like a flame, to be honest with you. I don't really see any more flames. Maybe I'm being blind. Oh, that's the bit that drips down his arm. But look at this piece. How intricate is that? It's like a little collar piece or something. There's his axe arm. There's his sword. It's absolutely fantastic. All his armor plates. Yeah. That looks like his chest piece. It goes on his chest. I'd imagine it would be because he's bare chest. Right, so wow, look at that. Let me get this in here. Look at his heads. That's the back of his helmet. So the head would go in that side. Look at that head there. It's amazing. The head's amazing. This head's amazing with the hair hanging down. I don't think I'm confident enough to go with this one for the skin and stuff, but I don't know. We'll have a look when we get to it. So I'm going to get the instructions set up and we'll start looking for the first couple of pieces. Right, so the first two pieces that we need is number one, which is this piece here, and number two, which is this piece here. Okay, so I'm going to snip those off, clean those down, and I'll show you how they go together. Right, so with this part here, number two, see this little flappy bit? The sprue's connected to that. Do not cut this off. You need to keep this. So just cut this bit of sprue off. Excuse me. And keep that little flappy bit. The reason why is, if you look in there, there's like a little weird bit that's like rectangular bit. This piece just slots into that gap. Okay, like so. And this bit connects there, just by my thumb here. Okay, so I'm going to glue those two pieces in and I'll come back down for the next piece. Now we have a bottom and two legs. So leave them to dry. The next piece we need, and this is where it starts getting very interesting, guys. Okay, so it's either, you've got a choice of three here. So it's either number 3, which is this piece here, or number 4, or number 5. Okay, so number 3, number 4, or number 5. One of those pieces you pick. Doesn't matter which one it is, they all work just as fine. So I'm going to have a look at these in more detail, and then I'll make a decision and pick one. I'll clip it, clean it, I'll show you how it goes on. Right, each of those 3 choices is actually his neck, and it literally just goes on like that. So a little bit at the top, just slots on there, nice and easy. If there's a little line, you just run a little bit of plastic glue across that. I don't care if I drop that because there's 2 more. Yeah, if there's a little line when you put it together, you just run the little excess glue that's at the top of the needle just along the edge of that joint, and it will just seal it shut. So I'm going to glue those 2 pieces on, and then I'll come back for the next piece. Right, so I'm going to skip ahead a little bit. So I'm going to take 52, which is the base. I'm going to snip that, clean that, and then I'm going to take 53, which are these flames here. Again, I'm going to snip them, clean them, and then I'll show you how they go together and put them on the base, because they don't interfere with nothing else. Once the avatar's built, he then glues into it. Okay, that's very straightforward. So that just slots in there like so. Very straightforward. Now on the base, by the looks of things, it should be something a little bit like that. The flames come up here. There's one leg's supposed to go here somewhere, the other leg's supposed to go on the base here. Now, when I come to put the avatar on there, if it's slightly off where it should be, it's not the end of the world, because it's plastic, gluing's plastic, so it's not an issue at all. But I think his foot's meant to be, one foot's meant to be in this space, and the other one's meant to be over here. Something like that. Yeah, something like that. But so if it doesn't happen that way and it's slightly off, it's not the end of the world. Look at Angron. When I built Angron, he has a square block that goes into the rock, and it was slightly off, so I had to cut the square block off and just glue his foot straight to the rock. It's not an issue at all. So I'm going to glue these 2 bits in, this into this, and into the base, and then come back for the next piece then. So here's what it looks like. Yeah, and you look at it and think, oh, it looks wrong. It's not, because that's the bit at the bottom there is what sticks to the base. That just looks upright. But that's some good detail there. I like that skull. That is amazing work. As you can see, I just run a bit of plastic glue around the edge just to seal it on. So now I'm going to get rid find the next piece and get it ready to show you where it is. Right, so the next 2 pieces we need is number 9, which is this piece here, and number 7, which is this piece here. So I'm going to stiff them, clean them, and I'll show you how they go on. Right, so again, when you take number 9 off, there's that little square thing. You keep that on there. Okay, the sprue again connects into that. You want to just take your sprue away, keep that square on there, because in this arm here, there is a little square bit that just sits into. Okay, and in this piece, there is should be a little square piece as well, because it just slots into. Slots into there. If I can get my big fingers in out of the way, it just slots onto there like that. So I'm going to glue that into place and glue the other arm into place, and I'm going to come back to you then for the next piece. Right, so the next bits that we need, so where it starts getting a bit fun, we need number 22, which is this mad shape here. Yeah, this is the blood that comes off the hand, or the flame that comes off the hand. It's blood, I think it is. We need number 20, which is this tiny little piece here, which is 2 fingers. And we need number 19, which is this piece here. So obviously 2 fingers are going to go on there. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to snip those off, clean those down, I'll show you how they go together. Right, so the first thing we do, we'll take the arm, which is number 19. This is 20 in my hand. It's very straightforward. It just slots. Of course it's not going to make it look easy now, that's like the camera's rolling. It just slots in there, get in there. You got it now a second ago. Just slots in there. Okay, so that's what you get. It's funny because I dry fitted in it, put it in perfectly. When I run the camera, it doesn't want to go in there. Then the next bit, this bit, goes over the top here, like so. Okay, very easy, straightforward. Now, basically where the hand is, you got the shoulder piece, there's a little, it's an arm, but we're just going to call it a pole for the second. This piece has to line up with the bottom of the hand. Okay, so it's like that. Very straightforward. So I'm going to glue that into place, and then we'll come back for the next pieces. Right, so the next two pieces we need are number 6, which is the front torso part, leg part, yeah, and number 8, which is this little magnificent piece over here. Okay, that's his other arm for the sword or the spear or whatever it's going to. So I'm going to snip these off, clean those down, and I'll show you how they go on. Okay, so this piece, this is number 8. That little bit on top, you need to keep that. Okay, this little flat piece, you need to keep that. Do you need to keep that? No, you don't. No, you should do, because look, this is, yes you do. Ignore me, yes you need to keep that. So this piece, see there's a strap on his shoulder there, that's the strap there. So this piece literally fits in like that. Okay, I'm not going to push it together, but that little bit needs to be up on top. Bloody doors, the wind's blowing the door. Okay, so that goes there, and this piece, surprise surprise, slots over the top here, like so. Okay, again, when you've glued together, there's a little bit of glue left on the needle. Just run it down the join line to seal the join line. Shouldn't be though, once you do that properly. But I'm going to glue those two pieces on. We'll come back and show you how the hand goes on. Right, so now that arm, this is very straightforward. The slots on there like that. Okay, very straightforward. So I'm going to glue that into place and we'll come back for the next piece. Right, so the next two pieces you need are number 11, which is this lovely piece here, and number 12, which is this foot. So I'm going to snip those off, clean those down. You're meant to leave that little bit on the bottom of the foot there. Yeah, leave it on there for a minute. I might have to end up snipping it off, I'm not sure, but we'll just see when we get to that point. So I'm going to snip these down, clean these down, and show you how they go together. Right, so there is a little bit there. There's a little hole in there, and that just basically slots over the top, like so. So it basically looks like that. Get it, hold, there it goes. It basically looks like that. I think I've zoomed in too far now. Let's zoom out a little, no, zoom out a little bit. Sorry guys. So it basically looks like that. So then I'm going to glue that into place and then come back for the next piece. Right, whilst that's drying, that foot, I'm going to come in with this one here, which is number 21. That's the next piece. I'm going to snip that, clean that, and show you how it goes together. Right, this is very straightforward. You can see there's a square hole there. There's a square peg. So that just literally slots in there, and that's his thumb. So I'm going to glue that into place, and I'll come back for the next piece. So before I show you how this leg goes on, and pull it on, I'm a little bit dubious because if I don't put it in right, it's going to look a bit weird. So the next thing I'm going to do is take number 10, which is this lovely piece here, because this is the other side of the leg. I'm going to snip it, clean it, I'm going to dry fit it, and then I'll come back and show you how it goes together. Okay, so the reason I wanted to check this first of all, because this leg is supposed to go over the back here, something like that, yeah? I couldn't figure out how it went, it was this way or that way, but there's actually, you can see this is all textured and this is all smooth, yeah? That lines up, so that goes in there. Now, let's flip it around. There is a hole there, okay? There is a little raised bit, focus in there. There's a hole there, and there's a little pin. So those line up. So basically, what you're looking at is something like that. Oh, well, that doesn't look right. Oh no, It is because there's another piece that goes over the front of it. So I'm going to glue them into place, these two pieces, and then come back for the next piece. So the next two pieces we need, we'll start with number 15, which is this piece here, and number 16, which is the other foot. Okay, so I'm going to snip those, clean those, and I'll show you how they go together. Right, this looks like the same as the other side. So there's a hole, there's a little bit that sticks out, and that just slots over the top like that. So I'm going to glue this into place. Okay, I'm going to glue that into place and leave that to dry whilst I go on to the next piece. Right, so whilst that foot's drying, next piece we need is number 13, which is this amazing piece with flames coming off and everything else. Be careful when you're snipping them off because you don't want to damage anything. I'm going to snip it off, clean it down, I'll show you how it goes on. Right, so this shin guard with the knee brace just slots in there like that. Okay, nice and easy. There's a little join line, but I can seal that off with a bit of glue afterwards. Basically, there we go. See it in all its glory. So I'm going to glue it into place and we'll come back down for the next piece. Right, so the next piece we need is number 17, which is the other side of the leg. I'm going to snip it, clean it. It should go on the same as this piece did. So it's the other side of this leg. Okay, I'm going to snip it, clean it, give it a dry fit, give you a quick show how it goes on, then glue it together. Right, again, this is very straightforward and simple. There is a little bit that sticks out there. There's a little hole in there. That slots on there. Okay, and there's a pin. There's a hole. Focus in your box. There's a hole, and it just slots on over the top. The hole goes into the pin. The hole goes into the pin. Again, the same as the other side. So I'm going to glue that into place, and I'll come back then for the next piece. The next piece we need is number 18, which is this lovely little piece here. I'm going to snip it, clean it, and I'll show you how it goes on. Right, so the next piece we need is number 14, which is the front of his body. I'm going to snip it, clean it. Just be careful along here because look, that's part of it and it comes off like a little belt. So just be careful when you're snipping it. Right, so you've guessed where this is going. There is a little piece there. See a little square? There's a little square sticking out of his tummy there. Very straightforward. It just slots into there like so. Well, not like so, but it sort of goes in there. This arm is going there, that goes there, there we go. Very simple, very straightforward. So I'm going to glue that into place and I'll come back down for the next piece. The next piece is all fiddly little pieces, but we'll still do them anyway. And so the next piece we need is number 28, which is this little fiddly piece here. Be careful when snipping it down. I'm going to snip it, clean it and stripe it and show you how it goes on. Right, the way number 28 goes on, it's got your strap here that just glues. It's a fiddly piece to get in, but it glues into there and it comes around the front of him. Yeah, like that. So I'm going to glue that into place and then I'm going to come back for the next piece. And I hope that's right because it's a bit fiddly to get on. I think here the chest piece that goes over, oh yeah, it does go around there. It goes just around here, just across that top part there. So I'm going to glue that clean down. I'm going to glue it into place and I'll come back for the next piece. There we go. So it looks, connects there, comes around the front of his, just above his six pack there. So the next piece that we need is number 25. I saw this piece. It's only a small piece. Where are we? There is. Number 25. So I'm going to snip it down, clean it down. Now this little bit here has to stay on it. Okay. So I'm going to snip it down, clean it, and show you where it goes. But just be careful because there's another little fiddly piece. Right, so where this piece goes, number 25, that little square I told you not to cut, that's his belt. So that goes just under there, just tucks into there. Now, This is very fiddly to try and show you, but it basically goes in there like that. That's how it basically goes on. Okay, you can see that the belt bit's not down probably, but that's how it goes on roughly. So I'm going to glue it into place and I'll come back for the next piece. Right, so now we need number 26, which is this piece here. Again, be careful when snipping it down because that little collection point there looks difficult to snip off, and that looks just about much of a pain in the backside to snip off. But I'm going to snip it down, clean it down carefully. This is where sanding sponge comes into its own, and I'll show you how it goes on. Right, so this little fiddly piece, as you can see, I couldn't get that bit of sprue off of there, so I just will drop a little plastic glue on that and that'll melt it down. This little piece goes between, let me knock in that piece, goes between the piece we just put on and the front part of his belt there, just in that little gap there. So I'm going to glue that into place and then come back for the next piece. Right, so the next piece we need is number 27, which is another little fiddly piece. Again, be careful with it, guys, because the way it's connected on there is very, very weird. Right, this little piece fits on really pretty much the same way. So it goes on, connects in there, goes through those two little flame bits, and connects into that back piece there. So I'm going to glue it into place and then come back for the next piece. Right, so the next piece we need is number 30, which is right next to the spear. Again, just be careful snipping it up because it's a very thin piece. Right, so this piece, number 30, glues into the back of his strap there, comes round the front and sits above the six pack, the same as the other piece did, or does, I say. Yeah, so I'm going to glue that into place and we'll come back for the next piece. Right, so the next two pieces are 29, which is this piece up here, and 31, which is this piece here, this little tiny piece. Be careful snipping it off. I'll snip them down, clean them, I'll show you how they go on. Right, the farmers are in, so I do apologise if you hear that in the background. Now, this threw me off at first. This is going to throw a lot of you off. But basically, the way it goes, this little bit here, this little nick that's taken out, that sits on top there to form like a semicircle like that. So I'm going to glue that into place and then come back to you for how that goes onto the actual model itself. Right, so how this goes on the model itself is there's a little funny shape there. Yeah, that little funny shape hooks in to just under there. See it? So it goes just in there like that. So I'm going to glue it into place and then we'll come out for the hard pieces. So we say, what hard pieces? These 50 pieces are hard. Yeah, the hard pieces are still to come. Right, so here's where we're at so far. Now, I don't, on the picture it looks like it's meant to go in further to the body, but it doesn't seem to do that. So, but that looks fine to me because it's in the point it's meant to be in. Flames are like they're bursting around and bursting all over the place. So on the instructions it looks like that's meant to be closer to the body, but for me that looks fine. Now some of you can say, you said hard pieces, John. What's the hardest piece that's next? Huh? This is the decision making time. So the first piece that we need is number 35, which is this piece here. Absolutely amazing piece. The blades and everything's amazing on it. Now one of the hardest parts. Do take the sword, the axe, or the spear. Now let's have a close look at each of them. The spear has so much detail on it. Absolutely love that. Love that. The axe, again, absolutely amazing. The sword, wow, the sword looks fantastic as well. I'm going to go with the spear, just because I want to, when I paint him, I want some sort of painting challenge. I can really get into that. I mean, look at all those carvings, that's fantastic. So I'm going to slim it down, clean that down, and I'm going to take number 35 as well, slim that down, clean it down, show you how the two go together, which is very straightforward. Right, so this is very straightforward. There's a little square block in there, there's a square gap in his arm, that just glues straight into there, like so. Okay. You can see that I missed a little bit on this cuff there, but I'll drop a little bit of plastic glue on there and clear that up. So I'm going to glue that together, and then we'll come back for the next piece. Right, this next piece is very, very simple. So where the arm's flat, you can see that's flat, that just connects into there, like so. So I'm going to glue those two pieces in, and then come back for the next piece. And so the next two pieces we need are number 36 and number 37. I'm going to stiff and clean them and show you how they go together. Right, this is very straightforward. So that just basically slides in there like that. That's what focus is. Gives you your little shoulder pad. Yeah, that goes above his weapon arm, but there is a hole there, and there's a little bit poking out of his shoulder. So I'm going to glue these together, and I'm going to glue it straight on. Yeah, see the bit sticking out? I'm going to get straight on, and then we'll come back for the next piece. Looking absolutely fantastic. That's such an amazing detail on the shoulder pad as well. So what I'm going to do now is it's the same thing again, but we need number 24, which is this piece here, and where's the other one gone? 23, which is this one here. So 23 and 24, yeah. I'm going to snip them off, clean them down. They go together the same way, but it goes on the other shoulder pad. And so the next piece we need is number 38, which is this crazy ass piece. Be careful when snipping this off because it is very thin pieces. Now these two big bits on either side, we need those intact. So I'm going to snip it down, clean it down, and show you how it goes on. Right, I'm going to show you how this goes on. So you've got your two little semicircle bits inside the shoulder pads either side. That just snips into there, glues to his chest. However, I'm going to show you something very interesting. This is where people will get confused with this because, okay, in this picture, it's showing you put the shoulder pads on. So in this picture, shoulder pads are on, put the chest piece on, yeah? Very straightforward, that's the way I'm doing it. But in this picture, they're saying that's correct, but that bit goes in first. I don't know. I'm going to glue that chest piece in and I'll come back for the next hardest part. Right, so with the chest piece, I think these straps are meant to go into the chest piece, into this little symbol, which means I've got it slightly off, but I don't think it is. I don't know. It doesn't matter, because when you're looking at them, you're not going to notice that they're a couple of millimeters or a millimeter or two away. But anyway, the next hardest piece, and this is very hard to decide now, is what head to put on him. Now those of you, some of you can go with the old classic head, which is this one. The classic head comprises of 43, 41 and 42. That's his hair. And 39, which is this face right here. And then number 40, which is the head. And number 39, it's pretty self-explanatory. There's a little bar there with two bits either side. The little bar slots in there, the two bits, and then the three bits of hair go together. Number 43, which is, where are you? This piece is the back piece. Number 41, yeah, number 41, where are you? Lost you now. Sorry, 41 is this piece down here, goes in the middle, yeah, and then number 42 connects into that side. Okay, that's one head, and then it goes on top of his head there. The other head is number 50, which is this one. Number 51, which is this little piece here. They go in together. Yeah, very straightforward. There's a little pin there. There's a little hole there. So it lines up. And that's with head number 49, which is this amazing head. Absolutely, all these heads are amazing. And number 48, which is this hair bit, goes behind his head. and then the other 2 bits of hair go on the back of it, on top of it, sorry. So, which is great, I like that. But I'm going to go with the other one. I actually really like the Spartan type head, especially with the spear. I think it looks fantastic. So that's number 46, which is this piece. Number 45, which is this piece. And then number 47, which is these 2 little ponytails. So I'm going to snip all 3 of those off, clean them down, and show you how they go together. Right, so this is very straightforward. For some reason, that's numbered B, and that's numbered B. Don't know why. But anyway, that goes across there. Yeah, nice and easy. Okay. And then the 2 ponytails, they go in there. You'll see there's 2 little bits. The 2 little bits. Do they slide in that way? Yeah, they slide that way. They slot in there, like so. So I'm going to glue all those 3 pieces together, and we'll come back for the final piece. Right, so the last piece for this face, this head, is number 44, which is this Spartan type helmet, which I absolutely love. So I'm going to snip that off, clean it down, and show you how it goes into the model. Right, so this is even more straightforward than the other one. There's a little bar in there. There's a little slot. It just slots in there like so. Very straightforward. Seal the join with the last bit of glue coming out of the needle, and then as it goes on, it just slots on there. So I'm going to glue those 2 bits together, glue the head on, and then I'm going to come back and glue the guide. But then I'm going to glue the guide to the model, and I'll come back and show you the final pictures. Right, so he's done. Now the foot here, there's the little block on it. Looking at the instructions here, and it doesn't have the block on it underneath anymore. So I don't know, I just snipped it off and just glued it to the base, just keep it very simple. Maybe there is a little slot for him, I couldn't see one, so I just snipped it off and glued straight to the base. It's going to work either way, so it doesn't matter. Now, difficulty for this model, I would probably give this model a 5. And I'll tell you why, because these little bits that go around him are really fiddly. The rest of him, absolutely fantastic. Fantastic to build, fantastic sculpt. Even his base is just so detailed. And I think I've shot myself a little bit here, because there's so much detail in this model that I've got a funny feeling when he goes into the vote, it's going to be voted on quite a lot, because it is a fantastic model. And I think I might have gone for too much detail, but I want a challenge. I want to be challenged. I want to do things that challenge my painting skills and push my limits on stuff and force me to experiment with different colours and different ways of doing things. So guys, if you're not subscribed to the channel, please subscribe to the channel. It costs you absolutely nothing and helps channel out in a massive way. And turn your notifications on so you don't miss anything that I produce, because I don't just do Let's Build videos, I do painting videos, do weekly Wednesday, which is a Q&A. I do battle reports every so often. Back into making terrain again now, so there's going to build that coming up as well. For all my regulars here, everyone that supported the channel from early stages of the channel, thank you guys very much. It means a hell of a lot to me. One other thing I want to say is, if you've built this model, okay, chuck a comment below and just tell me, I've given a difficulty rating of a 5 out of 10 to build. If you found it easier than that, then just chuck a comment below and let me know. Say you found it a 4. You found it a 4 for the following reasons. Or if you went with a different head or different arm because of this reason or just chuck a comment below and let me know, because I'm a big believer in, when you're doing something new, yeah, you get as much information about it as possible. So I think this is a 5. You could think it's a 6 because of this reason, that reason, or you could think it's a 4 because of this reason, that reason. You could have gone with this weapon because of this detail, because you weren't confident about like painting the detail on the spear, or you thought the sword looked better, or whatever it is. Just comment below. If you have any questions or comments about it, just again chuck it below, guys. Anyway, thank you all for watching. Until next time, take it easy, guys.